Hey, it's Super Death Show, and this week I had forgotten to record a time-lapse video for you of the comic being made, the comic page. So instead, we're gonna do a little flatting tutorial because it used to be one of my least favorite things to do in any kind of drawing was flatting. It's really boring and it takes a long time, and the only nice part about when you're flatting is picking your colors, if you pick your colors while you're flatting. I know a lot of people, they just put down any color and then change it later. But I've recently changed the way that I put down my flat colors, and I'm going to show you the new way that I do it now. Let's get rid of this and this. You might recognize this picture of Panty that I drew a few videos ago. Let's make a new layer and we will open up our colors here. So the way I used to do it was I would select my color and I would get on a layer that I'm going to color on. I would change this over to my pencil tool and probably zoom in really close, grab my pencil tool, and then I would just kind of trace the inside of my line art. And as you can already see, it takes concentration and it's going to take some time. But anyways, I would take and close off the gap, grab my fill tool, and then I would fill the yellow in. And just imagine that this was the whole piece of the hair. And that normally takes a while to do. You might just say that you want to use the fill bucket tool. You could turn on all layers and just fill it in. And then pick your next color and fill it in, which you can do that, that's fine. But the problem here is that it leaves this little white halo around everything. Depending on how big you're working on, the halo could be smaller or bigger. And eventually, to get rid of this halo, you'd have to go under the line art, and still you'd have to trace all the way around it. Now, a lot of people have been telling me you need to use your selection tool and expand the selection, which I have been ignoring people, which I shouldn't do, but I started doing that, and hey, it works like a charm. But before we get into coloring, I want you to set up a shortcut for one of the tools that we're going to use. So let's go to Edit, in the Edit menu at the top, go down to Keyboard Shortcuts. We're going to scroll down to Select, and we're going to scroll on down to Expand. And set that to whatever shortcut key you want. I use F5 because I don't use F5 for anything else while using Photoshop. And then once you're done, hit accept, OK. And now whenever we hit F5 with a selection on the screen, it will open up our expand selection. And go ahead and put it on 1 if you want to, because that's what I'm going to be using. If you don't want to use the shortcut, it's select, modify, expand, which it's a few menus. But just hitting F5 or whatever your shortcut key will make it a whole lot quicker. Alright, let's get ready to flat. First thing, now that we have our shortcut set up, let's make a new layer for our flats. We'll just call it flats. And I'm going to start off with making a mask. The way we're going to do this is grab our magic wand tool, turn on sample all layers and contiguous, have tolerance to 0, and just click outside of the character. And you can see that if we turn on quick mask mode, we can see that we have some holes that we need to fill in. So with our wand out, we'll hold down shift so we can select more things and keep our selection and keep adding to our selection. And I think that is everything. It's a really simple character, so there's not too much work to be done. Now with our shortcut F5 or whichever you chose, hit expand. And OK, I'm expanding it by 1. Now if I were to fill this, it's going to fill outside of our character, which isn't going to help us much. What we really want is to fill the inside of the character. So we can go to Select, Inverse, or you can hold down Control Shift and press I. And when we go to fill, it's going to fill everything inside of our character. We can deselect that. Now we can create a new layer, and this is the layer that we're going to actually put our flats on. Layer 14 over here in my layers thing. But if you click between layer 14 and the flats while holding down Alt, you'll see this weird little box with an arrow pointing down. If you click on that, it turns that into a masking layer. Like, it'll mask anything that is on this layer below it. On this layer, if we grab our pencil tool, I'll make it really big. And let's just make a red. whatever I paint on here with any of my brushes really, it will stay inside of the mask. It'll stay anywhere inside of what that first blue fill that we did was. So we have our mask. Actually, you don't have to use blue. You can use any color you want. I actually like to use, let me get my colors out here. I actually like to use the color that fills the most, like the biggest color on the character. So the biggest color is going to be her hair. So we can go ahead and fill this whole mask in with yellow, and that's just one less thing that has to be colored. And in the layer above it, that's where we're going to start our flatting. So let's say if I'm going to grab her skin color, I don't remember which one of these was her skin. I think it was this one. Yeah, you can just color right on it, but you still have to kind of trace the edges, and that's not fun. So instead we're going to use our magic wand tool again. So with our magic wand tool still set at the same settings, we're going to select every piece that is the skin. Let's get these legs in here too, and her toes. And what am I missing? I got an ear, her eyebrow area. So we've got all of her skin. Now to avoid that halo, we're going to expand the selection, hit OK. We've got our color selected, grab our fill bucket tool with anti-alias turned on and contiguous off, all layers off, tolerance down to 0. We're going to click anywhere to fill, and that takes care of all of her skin. Now look at that, that's pretty much most of the character. We're going to go ahead and do her dress next, which is the red. That's also her shoes too. So get your selection tool out, make a new layer. It's always a good idea to keep your colors on different layers, just in case you want to change them, or use the slider to you know, change the saturation, the hue, or whatever. So let's grab our magic wand tool again. We'll go to the dress. We'll come down here. We'll get the shoes. We'll get that little bit too. And I think, yeah, that's all the red. So our shortcut to expand, grab the fill it in, deselect, and there's that. And it's pretty much the same thing all the way around. We'll grab this blue, that's for her eyes. We'll go and select these two pieces of eyes, expand it, fill it. Eyes are done. Let's go get something else. What else? We've got her jewelry. We'll get her jewelry real quick. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of jewelry, and the inside parts too. Expand the selection, grab your fill bucket, fill it in. I'm not using keyboard shortcuts to do my tools. I'm so used to working on my Surface Pro, and you can't really have your keyboard flipped out for it while you're drawing, at least the way that I draw. So I'm really used to just swinging over and grabbing the tool real quick. I mean, it works for me, but if you know your keyboard shortcuts, that is even better. Alright, the insides of her eyes are white. Expand, okay. And fill those in. Alright, so we can see we've got a gap here, and using our selection tool we'll just select her whole face. So we will actually have to grab our brush and at least draw a little piece of this in. So we can just go ahead and just draw this part in, since it's a small area. It doesn't take too long to do. We'll go over, get the other side. She's pretty much flatted, except for, oh yeah, I forgot her her eyelids. That's right, isn't it? She got them pink eyelids. Let's just color those in. Now, the cool thing about this character is in the show and most of the official artwork, she does not have any shading. So after you get her flatted, you're pretty much done. You don't have to flat anymore. Let's move that shape over a little bit more too. There we go. What else? Are we missing something? Oh, that's right. She's got this little zigzag deal going on with her hair up here. And I don't have the color for that selection, so we'll just bump this up and pull it over. She's got like this Z shape on her hair. So we're getting a little bit of you can make your selection right here and kind of just pull it off. That way you don't go past that part of the hair. There we go. Close enough. What else? That's probably about it. And let's see. It wasn't that long to flat it. There we go. We got Penny flatted, and she's looking good and colorful. You can throw some shading on there if you want to. If not, you know, that's how the character looks. Anyway, she isn't shaded in the television show unless there's some like really cool shots of her or really dramatic or whatever. But it didn't take too long to do. If you have your expand selection set up as a shortcut key, it doesn't take any time at all. And this goes well with working on your comic or anything like that. So yeah, next week I will try to remember to record the comic drawing for a time lapse. But you know, if not, we'll just do some other kind of tutorial-y thingy or something like that. But anyways, thanks for watching Super Death Show, and we will see you next week.